gentlemen, Miss Jamelia, absolutely gorgeous, Glean, aka SocaSayso. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Like
Good Soca morning, everyone.
yes, 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 yes. Like I was saying, I was doing some research on YouTube about soca discussions, about discussions on soca as to taking the music further. And I ran into a group called Soca Mamas, I think it was the name of it. And
Soca mom, yeah.
yes, and you were part of the discussion, and saw your contact information, and I contacted you, and here we are. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me what. First of all, tell me what prompted you to, what would give you this passion. One could pick up from your voice that you have West Indian parenting. Give me a little bit about your background. Tell me, let St. Vincent the Grenadines and the wider diaspora know who is who is
Who
Jamila.
is Jamila?
Yes. Mhm.
Um, well, most people follow Soca Say So, the blog, as it's a visual blog mainly. I don't write pieces, I do videos.
Okay.
And the sole purpose is to push soca, to educate people about the greatness of soca and the artists and the entertainers involved in the genre. I myself, I am American born in New York, lived in New York all my life, and both of my parents are Grenadian.
Okay.
I grew up as a Grenadian
Mm-hmm.
in the house and have American experiences outside of the house.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so we are definitely distant cousins some way somehow.
somewhere connected through Union Island, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
so let me talk about growing up. I mean, you think that there might have been Americans like that would have been in your school that you would have exposed, the soca culture to, and would have gravitated again, because I don't know, sometimes I think that sometimes we are ashamed of who we are, and therefore we try to be like the Madden crowd kind of thing. We kind of want to gravitate.
Sure.
It's like me picking up an American accent in America because I'm there, or trying to talk like a Jamaican because Jamaicans are more accepted as opposed to being myself.
Mhm,
You know.
mhm.
So you.
Well,
Mhm.
while Africans have been in the Caribbean for centuries, soca is really only from I would say late 60s, early 70s. So the soca culture
Mhm.
is very young.
Okay.
But in New York, being Caribbean, from the Caribbean or of Caribbean descent, was not anything to be proud of. I would say until maybe the late 90s,
Okay.
because it was a new um, immigration status, right? So every group of immigrants that comes to America, there's a stigma put on them because
Mhm.
they come and they're really eager to work and to get the
Yes.
American dream of
Mhm.
bettering yourself and sending money back to your family. And the people who are here already just see that as a threat. You're coming
Exactly.
in to
Yes.
take our jobs, to change our environment. So Polish people had to deal with that. Italians had to deal with that. And when Caribbean people came, they had to deal with that. Now, when they came in the 20s, there was so few of them that it didn't really make a wave.
Mhm.
But in the 70s, there was a larger wave that came into New York. And then they started getting, the nasty looks. What is that food you cook in? What is that loud music?
Yep.
Why are you moving differently? Why do you sound differently? And especially in the 80s, there was a serious disdain for Haitians. Um,
I
you could
remember that.
not
Yes.
say you could not say you were Haitian with pride in the 80s. It was horrible. Even from other Black people.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a problem. And then the rest of the Caribbean made their own way. And I mean, being in New York, there are large numbers of Trinidadians and Jamaicans, and so there's more understanding for that culture first, and then after that, you start talking, you have an accent, and then everyone says you're Jamaican, and then if not, they say okay, Trinidadian, and then you get down to everywhere else. Okay, no, I never heard of Grenada.
Yes.
I mean, even to this day, if I meet somebody and I say I'm Grenadian or I'm wearing a Grenadian flag, they'll say, I remember when Reagan went,
Okay.
and
Yes.
or I have a niece that went to med school. And then rarely I get the people who say, actually, I've been there and it is beautiful. And they went on vacation.
Yes.
So in terms of me and Soca, everybody who's ever known me in life knows that I love Soca.
I hear you.
From small, I've learned I've loved Soca. And from when Calypso was turning into Soca, they knew about it. Because it's just so infectious that the question has always been, why don't you know about it? Because this music is so good.
Yes, it is.
So I routinely ask people, have you heard this song? Do you know this? Especially when it's something that's so huge in the Caribbean, right? I mean, when hot, what's hot, hot?
Yes.
How could you not have heard that song? I mean, I saw that on American TV, so I would go around asking people if they knew that song. So there's nobody that knows me and doesn't know my love for Soca.
I hear you.
To answer your question.
Yes, and actually, I think what also propelled the popularity of it is the coming of the internet, where that me personally, I would have hosted a radio program in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and there was always reggae records that would come to the station, but there was never you wouldn't get the it was almost none where soca is concerned. As a matter of fact, a lot of my soca songs came from Trinidad and Tobago. My uncle was a noted radio announcer. His son is now the gentleman Phil Simmons, Phil the Trail from Laventille. He would have sent me, he would have sent me records, and also I would travel to New York and touch base with Straker and get some music. But going to Florida, and most music stores were Jamaican owned, and you find if they have soca, they have Byron Lee, and that's it. Or they have Byron Lee and Fabulous Five, and then that's it. It left a hole. It left a hole where this thing is concerned, and a big reason why I'm convinced where this is, where soca music is concerned, is my experience as a musician, wherein that I went to Florida with a band called Sam and the Caribbean Express, to be exact. And we decided to stay. The core of the band decided to stay. But we went to Florida, Sam and the Caribbean Express, and had to rehearse people like Baron, Posa, a host of Trinidadian artists, a host of and Percy Sledge. It was Percy Sledge, and then there was a big entourage.
My mom loved Percy Sledge.
Of Trinidad artists. As a matter of fact, it was the first show was supposed to be Mother's Day, but like I said, so we got there with an arsenal of soca in our repertoire. So while I remember every band you would come across, if they played soca music, it was either hot, teaser, dollar wine, or and that was like the one song for the night that they would play last, and then everybody would join in and then like wait a minute, what happened to the rest, and so and my experience is that especially in the tourism industry, is that the rhythm is infectious. It's happiness with a beat if you want to explain it in any way. And therefore, if we have a stronger appreciation for it, if we have knowledge of self, if we have knowledge of knowing the effect that what our culture can bring, then it's easier. It's easier for me to. It's easier for this to go on the world market. Like the passion for it would. It's almost like I think that if I used to think that if we take this to the Middle East, we'd have Jewish girls and Palestinian boys dancing together, and understanding that it's not necessary. It's that kind of infection. Even the ones if you ever go and see what soca music is playing and tourists or white people is there, if they can't move their waist, they move their hands. It's infectious. And especially if they understand the message of what the music is bringing, that takes it to another level. But you've been telling me that it's other things that you do that in support of our culture that also is like the things that you would do with the Labor Day Commission with the Chamber of Commerce. But first of all, let me tell everybody that Miss Jamila Green is not just a soca addict; she's a lawyer. And that's another stigma
full-time job.
That was another stigma that soca music was the ones that love soca music. Must be of a lesser ilk, must be of a lower class kind of thing. Like my daughter is playing pan now. My daughter goes to girls' high school and she's playing pan. Back in my days growing up, any girl playing pan, she was a panyard girl. She was less off. But the world is changing. The world is changing, and ooh. It's amazing.
It's growing up, seeing the rise of jazz music from Grenada to now. It's a world of difference.
Exactly.
When I was young, they played jazz, but there was a lot of people in my family who said that's devilish thing, and don't go near that, and don't let them touch you with that, and that's it. And now, if I tell anybody I'm from Grenada, they say, "Whoa, do you play jab? I want to go to Grenada. I want to play a jab." And it's like, what? It's so weird. It's so acceptable now. People are bringing the jab culture around the world now, and not to say that Grenada is the only island that plays a jab, but just from my one perspective, it's just so. It's so strange how quickly. I mean, because it's a short space of time in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I'm a lawyer. I have a day job, but that does not mean I can't love my culture and love my music.
You have a day job and the passion.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like I said. Where do you see this music going in the next 5 years? What do you project? Where you project this music could go in 5 years? Like I said, you look at artists like Marshall Montano, Skinny Fabulous, the Skinny Banton, to mention, and these guys drop something and you see thousands of views, you see million views every, and realize that that these things have legs. Like Randy, who was here before me, he would have mentioned somebody released a song and just put it up on YouTube and in line with the Black Lives Matter thing, and already it's been picked up. Already it's been picked up by a major record company because of because of the advent to the internet, it's so easy to spread the message now. And like I said, I believe in the belief of self, the belief in oneself is where it has to start. Yeah, but so tell me, where you think this is going to go in the next 5 years? How you project that this is going in the next 5 years?
I am so invested in it, but really and truly, it can go everywhere. It could go nowhere. It's really crazy. Lots of artists look at certain standards, and in terms of soca has made it, and the majority of those standards are white American standards. So people like to say, well, Masha performed at Madison Square Garden, so we made it. But Pharaoh performed at Madison Square Garden, Nelson performed at Madison Square Garden before him, and there are many people who performed at Madison Square Garden, and we're still looking for the "we made it" moment. There's a huge faction of people who are waiting for us to get on the Grammys. If there's no category for soca on the Grammys, then we haven't done it yet. There's lots and lots of people looking for outside approval. And I don't think that soca will actually be a thing if that's what we're looking for. We have the numbers. There are so many, every island has a soca artist. Every island puts out soca music. Right? So, and then those islands have people leaving, emigrating, going other places. We have Caribbean people all over the globe. And those people have introduced soca music to other people. So much so that Berlin Carnival is a huge carnival. Soca in Japan is a big deal. Many of our artists have performed in Japan. I mean, we have been all over Australia. I know DJs that make money. People call them down to Australia from New York. Yeah. We have been all over the globe in the name of soca, and yet and still, we're still talking about we haven't made it. We want soca to go global. What again? We are global, but what we haven't done is appreciated our own music. We haven't spent money on our own music in terms of song sales. Caribbean people spend money on soca by going to fetes and going to concerts and going to parties, right? Going to fetes, right? So we don't spend the money on actual albums and songs that are on iTunes and Spotify and all those streaming sources, or even just going to the artist's page and buying their album. No, people, West Indian people do not do that in the numbers that they need to. If we can get that to happen, then we can then the rest of the world will recognize soca as a genre. Because right now on iTunes you can't get soca as a genre half the time. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So I think we need to have the appreciation for it. There is the Latin Grammy. They don't need to be part of the other Grammys because they have enough of a voice on their own to sell out stadiums and to sell albums and make an industry. There's no reason why reggaeton is bigger than soca music, besides we're not supporting it.
You see,
right?
but
reggaeton is very, very new. And it's an offshoot of Caribbean music.
It is, yes.
English-speaking American music.
It's an offshoot of what we might refer to as groovy or dancehall soca. It's that simple. But beyond that, without and you would have mentioned it yourself. I think it has to do with so much with the the personal acceptance, the sense of self. One of the things I was mentioning before you came on is that right here on this, the Government Service Commission rules. It's still on the books that females that work for the government should not necessarily go to work with more than 2 plaits, with more than 2 braids in their hair. That is considered.
Wow.
That is considered, and it's still on the books in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It goes that deep. And I mean, so a recent discovery. I'm an Anglican, and they had a lecture in the church about it was called the Living Stones. Down in the Anglican church walls, it was something that I was always battling from since my confirmation days, wherein that I would see memorabilia of persons who may not necessarily lived in St. Vincent, but contributed towards building the church. And understanding Caribbean history for what it is, I was afraid to research these people to find out who they really are. But the conference revealed my worst fears, that these people would have been here committing the worst of atrocities, on us as a people. And it's that same mentality that persists today, that tells you what you are and who you are and what comes naturally to you is not of value, but what we can project to you. And it goes deep. It goes deep, and until we like one I go back to my experience in Brooklyn again. I worked at a supermarket, Big R supermarket, one of the many jobs I did before moving to New York, and it dawned on me that whatever we put on the end gondola or on the end shelf would move very fast because it had high visibility. What you put on the eye level shelf would move fast because of the high visibility of it. To me, that is part of what we need to do to raise the awareness of what we enjoyed, of what our parents and our grandparents would have held our hands and danced with us well before we can walk.
Well, 30 years ago, if you were in the States and you wanted to hear calypso or soca music, you had 2 options. You had to go to specifically Brooklyn and go to Charlie's Records or
Strikers.
There was one other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strikers Records.
You can go to an actual record store.
And you see, I could tell you that because that was me. I would have been there. You would listen to WLIB on a Saturday.
WLIB, yes. And you have to wait for Saturday.
You had to wait for Saturday. You had to wait for Saturday.
Oh boy,
and not only that, and there was another guy, a guy from England, Prince Kalunda, that came Prince on in 91, I think in 91.1. It was a public access radio station out of New Jersey. And that was your soca consumption. That was what you...
But you also had the contingency who would wait for a mix CD, mix tape to come up with somebody who just came from Carnival.
Yes.
So you wait till, okay, when is Carnival? Okay. Maybe next 2 weeks after we're gonna get a shipment in, and you go and you say, okay, this is the mix of the hottest tunes from the island, and you're good till the next Carnival. Now you gotta wait till the next Carnival to hear music. And right now there is a real movement that is Soca 365. Artists are putting soca out all year long. Now, there's 2 things to this. One specific artist doesn't need to actually put out music all year long because there are so many carnivals throughout the year that you can wait for carnivals now, but now you don't have to just wait for the carnival from where you're from. You can get, all right, from February you're gonna get Trinidad and Carriacou, all the way come down to VI and whoever's in December. You're gonna get carnivals the whole year long, so you're gonna get new soca all year long. And then there's individual artists who are making it their mission to put out music beyond their own carnival. So especially not Preety, Irfan Alves has made that statement that he's going to put out music all year long.
Okay.
But there are other artists like Preety and even now like Marshall puts out music for Crop Over. All the artists are putting out music all year long. So we have a better chance of always being able to listen to soca. There are apps, there are different radio stations that are putting out music on a daily. There are so many DJs now that claim to be soca DJs, and they're putting out mixes. You can go on SoundCloud and just look up soca, and you'll get a lot of mixes. There are those top ones, but then there are a lot of smaller DJs that are putting out mixes all the time. So the music is there. And I do a show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram Live, and it's called Tune Tuesday. And on that show, I feature the music because I know part of the problem is that people don't know all the songs. They don't know how much goodness there is in soca. So I come on to feature soca. And when I started a few years ago, I came up with a theme each week, and I just played music and talked about the music and what was going on in the islands around that theme. Now I have opened that up to include interviews with artists and producers. Have I had DJ? Yeah, I've had Private Ryan on. And so I try, the mission is to play music from across the islands, not just the heavy Trinidad, and that's it. So we've had Weddy Beats, we've had
Weddy Beats, I think he's from St. Vincent.
Recently.
Yes.
Yeah. We had Mikey Mercer, we had Kevin Little.
Okay.
We had Edwin Yearwood, Destra, many Nyla Blackman, many artists, and it's really to have them speak about their catalogs, because I feel like they put so much music out. In the soca industry, you're only as good as right now. In other industries, it may be you're as good as your catalog. But what do you have right now? I know you won Soca Monarch last year, but what do you have right now is the only thing that West Indians care about.
One of the latest.
What's the latest?
Yes.
And so when I have an artist on, I go through their catalog. Okay. And it's really eye-opening to see how much songs they have. I mean, just Destra, boy, just so much music. Just so much music out. Just her alone. And so really, it's better now that you can find music a lot easier. You can just go on YouTube and type in St. Vincent Soca, and you're gonna get music from the years. If I type in Fireman Hooper, I'm gonna get a catalog of songs. So whereas before it was which DJ do you know and which person do you know that's going to bring in the music can come right to your phone.
It's right there. It's right on the internet. Yes. Yes. So you said every Tuesday, and what's the name of the WhatsApp handle? What's the same SocaSayso? Same Soca?
So it's on. Yeah. So I'm on the show is on Instagram Live. And you go to SocaSayso on
Okay.
Instagram, and it's every Tuesday, 7 p.m. I put up advertisements so you won't forget. So follow Soca Say So on all social media. Follow Soca Say So on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Go to SocaSayso.com and you can see the archives of the all the interviews and the shows where it's just me. We have some great shows when we just do classic soca tunes.
Okay.
I love I love that people actually know those tunes and want to hear them. And sometimes it's just an education time. And my audience runs the gamut, but I do have a lot of young viewers. And I'm always surprised when they're so interested in the classic music. I'm pleased by that.
Yes,
Um,
I tell you, right before I came, I left Florida in 2007, and right before 2006 now, and right before I left, Kevin Little was starting. Kevin Little's popularity has started to grow, and you have no idea how it would feel to me that I would see young kids singing, young American kids, young white American kids singing Kevin Little's song word for word. You know,
yeah,
including imitating the rap part. So. And it's especially touching because you get to understand that where this music has come from. Where it would seem like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you had to go and beg a DJ. You had to go and beg a DJ to please play this. You had to go and take the record to the DJ or take a tape to the DJ, and if you could play number three and this, and to where it is today. You also have I think something called rant and rave that I was
yeah.
particularly impressed with. Would you enlighten the audience where that is concerned?
Yeah. So Rant and Rave right now is a podcast. It started out as a live event last year. It's funny, second our second event was actually on Juneteenth last year, and it was we brought together uh, Brooklyn-based, Caribbean-owned businesses. So we had a panel of young Black entrepreneurs telling us how they started their businesses, why they decided to keep their businesses in Brooklyn, what are the struggles, what things do, giving others tips and insights into growing their business. We had the New York City Commissioner of Small Business Services, Greg Bishop, who is also a Grenadian. We had him there give us a speech and tell us what resources New York City is offering to our community to start businesses and help them thrive. We had a pop-up shop where we had, I think it was three businesses. We had Team Soca, the music app, and we had Carnivalista, who sells Caribbean accessories, and we had BBNYC, which Be Brilliant NYC, which is a Black-owned, Haitian-owned clothing line. We had them there to sell their wares, and we did this all in a Jamaican-owned venue.
Okay.
And so we had a four-part series, and the idea was myself and fellow blogger This Chick. We were getting a lot of feedback from our viewers, our listeners, and they were complaining about basically the same things. And so we wanted to give them a space where we can not only talk about it, but come up with solutions. So we took the four biggest issues. The first one was Labor Day in New York. What is WIAGA as an organization doing with that cultural staple? How do we make it better? So we had the board members of WIAGA at our first event. Then, like I said, the businesses. And then the third one was a cultural event. So we had artists. We had the Caribbean American Film Academy feature a short film. We had artists who brought in their paintings and photographs. We had carnival as an art, so we showcased some costumes, and then our panel consisted of Brooklyn-based soca artists, and then they performed, because at the end of every event there's a rave. We rant, we talk about things, and then we rave. We got a party.
No, you see, I must.
So that one. Good.
I must commend you on that, because it you know, when you say SocaSayso, when you know, people would and it's the stigma. It's the stigma that you overcoming with that, because here it is what you're expressing is not that the culture, the love for the music is not only stimulating for you to have a good time, but you can use it for community organization. You can use it for the betterment of the community. People with like minds, with like cultures can get together and make a greater good for a thing. And like I said,
go ahead. We had one other one where we addressed the issue that we don't have a lot of venues in Brooklyn. So a major part of being outside of the Caribbean, a major part of keeping onto your culture, is having a place to enjoy your music. Where you can have fets, where you can have concerts and see those artists that maybe you couldn't get on a plane to see. You can come and see them at a venue. And we really are... Venues are shutting down at an alarming rate in Brooklyn, where there may not be places to go to do those things soon.
Oh, wow.
So we had a forum where we included promoters, a avid fetter, so somebody who just pays their money all the time, and we also had police presence there as well. So we got the police perspective of, why are you shutting down these venues? What is really going on? What do we need to do to make sure that we have good relationships with the police so that we keep these things open? And we also did that one at a Black-owned venue. Okay. So at the end of all of that, we came up with some solutions for things, but we also still had some questions, and people were begging us to have more live events. And it's just me and this chick, and we said, okay, listen, we have day jobs, and we can't just all of a sudden just do events every week, every month. So we decided to do a podcast where we can talk about the issues and give a forum where people can, come in and comment on what they've heard on the podcast. So now we have BK Rant and Rave. You can go to bkrantandrave.com. And you can subscribe to our podcast, the Rant and Rave podcast, on iTunes and Spotify. And we've had 2 seasons, and we've had some bonus episodes, and we're actually working on some other bonus episodes right now, because of what's going on in America right now with around racism and the Black Lives Matter movement. We just can't stay silent in this moment. But definitely, please subscribe on iTunes or Spotify to Rant and Rave.
Alrighty. Well, we kind of running out of time. Anything that you thought that you want to share that I did not necessarily prompt or ask you, and give you some time to talk about it,
Sure. Well, I mean, listen, we've been under. I'm in New York, which is an epicenter of COVID for the last few months, and I'm fed up. I'm ready to go outside, and I can't wait to go to Vincy Mass. It is definitely on my bucket list. Looking at Soca Monarch on YouTube, on TV, it is like, I need to be there.
I got bad news. I got bad news for you. I got bad news for you where that is concerned. There is no Vincy Mass this year. Vinci
Oh
Masters.
no! Not this year. Let's not get crazy. No. It's 2021 and beyond. No.
2021 and
We're
beyond. I
not
hear
doing
you.
it this year.
I hear you.
No.
I hear you.
All carnivals for me this year are canceled, whether or not they announce it or not. It's not happening for me. I want to reach 2021 alive. But listen, you guys have an amazing amount of talent coming out of St. Vincent. I mean, I know Skinny Fabulous has gone around the world, but beyond Skinny Fabulous, there are so many names.
Yeah.
Mason, Fireman Hooper, just to name a few. I mean, a lot of talent, and you guys should be so proud of the talent you have. And really, they are doing you proud around the globe. They are raising your flag in the name of Soca, and that is just awesome. You guys should just all really take pride in that your country is being really well represented around the globe, and it's because of Soca artists. So kudos to all of them. If you're an artist out there, you're a DJ, you're a producer, please send me your music to SocaSayso@gmail.com. If you just are a lover of Soca, you don't know about Soca, you want to learn more, please follow SocaSayso on all social media. Go to SocaSayso.com. And that's it, really. I really appreciate you, Carlisle.
I really appreciate you.
Platform.
I was wondering, maybe she think I'm trying something, because I kept I kept sending my phone number and all that good stuff, But really do appreciate.
Listen, like I said, I have a day job, and it's crazy to juggle that and the social media sometimes. This week was one of them.
Yes.
But happy Father's Day to you in advance.
Yes, but thank you. And I had planned to ask if your husband is married, but we're not gonna go down. He's tired.
I am not married, but I have a feeling that some people out there feel that they can claim me, but I am not married.
All right. Well, let me give you the open invitation to when you come to St. Vincent. I'll be the one with the red carpet rolling out of the limousine.
Excellent.
To
Thank you.
accommodate
It will happen. I must come.
Yes. Well,
and listen, the rebel spirit is strong within St. Vincent.
It is.
I went to the museum in Grenada, and I saw that people in Grenada got on little canoes to ride to St. Vincent to tell them the uprising must start now. And with those canoes, they were able to stave off colonization for years.
As a matter of fact,
that rebel spirit, and don't ever forget that.
The one time I went to Grenada was from Union Island in like about a 10-foot boat, 8 to 10-foot boat,
Wow.
So it's not. It still goes on to today. Especially with folks in Union Island and the Southern Grenadines. The closeness is still there. For some reason it's not necessarily talked about as much as people going to Trinidad or. It goes with the same thing too. People will tell you, well, this island is better than this island, so as opposed to being yourself, you want to associate with something else. And to me, it's all handed down from the same things, from the same people in the church.
That's the colonial mentality. Yes. It's just separation.
Yes.
They're just trying to separate us.
Separate you.
But we're all we is one family.
All we is one family. Yeah. I wonder if you ever heard this song. This next song I'm going to play, I actually supposed to be doing something with this guy after my commercial break with when I hang up with you. This guy's name is Flanker. The name of the song is The Whole Hog.
I've definitely heard of Flanker. Big up yourself.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yo, Lester, what's trouble in my life? The woman a handy and a stress me out. She bring a man right in me house. Me family want me. Say Flanker show she out. The girl now want you. She only and yam you out. pick she up at it and bring she back at one. And she have another one who plant seed and she land. Does water the grass, they call him the hog. She give her the whole hog, the whole hog, the whole hog.
No, the first time this song really caught my attention, I saw what would be like a 6 or 7 year old singing the song word for word. You know, and you see, and you see, in a lot of ways, you could think of what is negative about it. You understand? But to me, your personal relationship with God is your personal relationship with God, and it would supersede anything that's around you. You know, for whatever it's worth, we cannot seclude our 6-year-olds from the evils of this world, from what might be considered bad for them, you know. And this part of our culture is nothing new. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. I mean, we can go from Sparrow, from since I small I hear them say, you know, and we've been having fun with Double on Town for quite some time.
Yeah.
And it is for us to accept it as part of our culture.
Of soca music.
Yes.
It's a real good part. And you know what is so wonderful about it is that an adult could have fun with a song, a child could have fun with a song, and they're thinking different things. Right?
Exactly.
Because I know for sure.
Exactly.
I was singing some songs on the top of my lungs. I had no clue what it was really talking about.
Yes.
But I could really enjoy it. My father could really enjoy it. So I love that. I love that.
Yes.
And you don't have to curse.
Yeah.
You don't have to say bad words right out. But we know what you're talking about.
And you turned out to be an excellent attorney. Look at that.
Hey, look at that.
Here's another one. This one is by a one called Wizkid. This one is called Mother Con.
Yes.
I me plan the corner, could demolish them anytime I want. I me plan them, I could demolish them. Me stepson, you know that I'm a real hard-working black man. I don't know what I do, your mother fishy give me hand. All she studying, big house and diamond ring. And just show I'm a farmer, and me she scanning. I plant a crop, I can't fishy invest all me money. Got me friend them laughing, calling me stupid. But you will find out she really haunting me. I'm going to demolish your mother can't feel. Hey, I'm going to cut down your mother can't. Take grandma's.
Yeah, you know, I think.
That's a good one.
Yes, yeah, you know, like I said, and you know, it's like right now.
Hard working.
This is not this kind of an enjoyment is not present because of COVID-19. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm yet to hear anybody releasing a song out of St. Vincent. Now, as it is, a few people got together, and I think sometime next month they're going to have a virtual Soca Monarch. But the propensity of hearing dancehall, Dexter Daps, and Govy General, and it's usually this is our season. Where every, you know, for every barbecue there's for every lime there's something that supports soca music. You know, for every van, for every public transportation van that pass, you know, that you would be hearing, you know, soca music, and that affects that this transcends down the economy in my opinion, because it affects even the peanut vendors, the van drivers, the taxi drivers, for, you know, taking people late at night at fetes and what's not, and you know, and all of this is just non-existent. And I tell people that I was born in October, and back in those days we used to have carnival in February, so I must be a carnival baby, you know. But you see, being a carnival baby, it's just a sense of somebody being in a joyful moment. You know, somebody being a sense. So I mean, the sense that I could say that I'm a carnival baby doesn't mean that my mother was lewd. You know, it just meant that,
Right.
yeah, well, she was in a good mood in February. You know, I have 3 sisters, one born November, October, 2 sisters, one in November, one in a couple of days before me. You know, so it's easy to associate this time of year, this festival time of year, with good cheer, with people feeling good about themselves, with people being relaxed and people being themselves. But the stigma that was placed on it is what we need to work on, you know. And I'm glad that I've met you, and I'm hoping that I could contribute even more so, because, like I said, I went looking to see what is there because of things that I was formulating in my head. What can we do to make this thing better, and I was happy to run into you ladies, and of course Tuesday night I'm going to make it my business. I was late this Tuesday. But I'm gonna make it my business
7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Tune Tuesday. Don't miss it. It is such a vibe.
Yes.
I'm telling you, every Tuesday, I end the show by telling everyone that Tuesday is my favorite day of the week. And it really is. Whatever mood I'm in, I am totally lifted by the music and the people and their comments and their love for the music. That energy is just so great. Soca is global, guys. It's global now. We just have to capitalize on it. We really need to take hold of it. You know what? I'm gonna actually request now that you join my show, because I want to talk. I have a standing question, and I'll let you think about it before you get on the show.
Okay.
The standing question is, what is Soca? You don't have to answer it now because I know you're running out of time.
All right.
But the standing question is, what is Soca? I believe that Soca is not bigger than it is because we actually don't have a general definition for it. If you go to a large record label, if you go to a TV channel and tell them about Soca, everybody will tell them a different thing.
All right.
The fact that we don't have an actual definition for it, I think really hinders us. You can't have a category in the Grammys if the Grammys don't know what Soca is. They won't know what to put in the category. But anyway.
So tell me, quick question before you go. Before you go. What month were you born?
January.
Oh, okay. So you're not necessarily a carnival baby, but I'm going to take you back. This is like I've seen your picture, and therefore I have an idea that I could be significantly senior of you. But this is something that might have missed you because of your age. But I think you're going to enjoy it. Here you go. Traffic.
One is for the half wine and chucking posse. All you ready to do the dance? Let me try it. Come on, people. Hey! Try the thing, man. Try the thing. Come on. I can't hear you. I want to see it. Show me.
All right, just in case you haven't heard that before, that is by Traffic. It's called Have Wine and a Joke. It's one of my favorites from, and it, like I said, it goes.
I love that.
It goes way back. So you heard it before?
Just a quick joke.
Huh?
I haven't heard that song, but that just goes to show how much soca there is in the world.
Yes,
but
it
a
is.
Quick joke that when I was in school, I was showing the kids how to do the donkey wine, and they were all looking at me like I had 10 heads. that just goes to show. I've been doing the Iowa and the shadow for years, but whoever those are easy dances you could join in. Easy.
All right.
The butterfly, maybe that's harder, but
All right. To give you
doing
an idea of my age, I actually was on tour with United Sisters with the donkey. As a matter of fact, somewhere there's a picture. There's a picture with they had part of the lyrics that says "Put your woman on top of your back." I think it's on my.
I was just gonna say, did you put on your back?
I had well, they weren't on my back, but it looked like two of them. It looked like.
Wow.
Yes. Let me try and find this. Whoa, donkey.
It's a good thing I said that.
Yeah.
Whoa, donkey.
All right.
Listen,
Thank you.
Donkey braids.
Yes.
Listen, just once again, please subscribe to Rant and Rave podcast.
All right.
On iTunes, on Spotify, and go to bkrantandrave.com to get the latest on what this chick and SocaSayso are doing.
All right. So if you don't believe
Thank
me,
you so much, Carlisle. I appreciate you.
Take care. Thanks.
Thank you, St. Vincent.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.